It's Wednesday, February 11th, 2026, and this forecast is moving fast in a direction that has my full attention. The Valentine's Day storm system is becoming more bullish with every model run. The Weather Prediction Center just escalated to a slight risk for excessive rainfall centered on Valentine's Day across the southern plains and Mississippi Valley. But that's not the headline. The headline is what happens when this system reaches the East Coast, because if the European model is right, we could be looking at a 960 to 970 millibar bomb cyclone just offshore of the Northeast by early next week, and that is blizzard territory. Before you panic, the GFS disagrees. It keeps things suppressed and weaker. But the European has been outperforming the GFS all winter, and I think it deserves serious attention. Meanwhile, record highs shattered across Kentucky today. Upper 60s and low 70s from Paducah to Pikeville. The plains are about to hit 40 degrees above normal by Saturday. And behind all of this warmth, a third storm system building near the Aleutian Islands is going to bury the western mountains under potentially historic snowfall. 3 storms lined up, each one stronger than the last. Let me break it all down. By the way, if you'd like specific weather forecasts for your region or city, please leave them in the comments. I'll answer them individually as time allows. Also, if you like the video and subscribe to my channel, you'd be very grateful. Now, let's move on. The setup right now. La Niña is losing its grip fast. Warmer anomalies are building across the equatorial Pacific, and we could be out of La Niña territory by spring. The subtropical jet is waking up, the storm pipeline is turning on, and the drought across the south and west is about to take a major hit. A ridge of high pressure is keeping the central U.S. quiet and warm through the rest of this week, but that ridge is also funneling all the energy around its edges. Clippers and snow showers to the north, Pacific moisture pounding the west, and a developing storm complex taking aim at the southern tier. The contrast between warm and cold is becoming extreme, and that's the recipe for big storms. What's happening tonight? 2 things. In the east, a couple of low-pressure systems diving out of Ontario are bringing snow across the northeast right now. Heavy pockets are moving through upstate New York, Vermont, New Hampshire, and into western Maine, with snow pushing into the Boston area, Cape Cod, Providence, and Hartford. Rates could exceed an inch per hour in the heaviest bands through midnight, dropping visibility below half a mile. New York City could see freezing drizzle and sleet mixing in. By Wednesday morning, it shifts to scattered snow showers and lake effect bands off Lake Ontario. Accumulations of 3 to 6 inches are possible across Maine, New Hampshire, Vermont, and upstate New York through Friday. Out west, a strong low-pressure system is moving onshore. Coastal California gets decent rain tonight, while the northern and central Sierra Nevada sees heavy snow through daybreak Wednesday. The WPC confirms snowfall rates exceeding 1 inch per hour above 8,000 feet, with 18-plus inches likely at the highest elevations. Snow also pushes into southeastern Oregon, western Nevada, and the Central Rockies. Utah, western Wyoming, and western Colorado all start picking up accumulation through Friday. The Valentine's Day system, February 13th to 16. Confidence keeps building. The WPC says there is growing consensus for moderate to heavy rainfall across the South Plains into the Mississippi Valley Friday and Saturday, with a slight risk for excessive rainfall now posted for Valentine's Day. The low pressure currently parked over California will skirt across the southern U.S. through the weekend, tapping into Gulf moisture. Rainfall totals of 1 to 4 inches are expected from Texas through Louisiana, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, and the Carolinas, with localized 6 inches possible where storms train over the same areas. The DFW NWS office says 80% rain chance with 1 to 3 inches. Houston sits at 90%. San Antonio is around 50%. Severe weather is possible both Friday and Saturday. Hail, damaging winds, and possible tornadoes, especially from East Texas into Louisiana, Mississippi, and Alabama during afternoon heating hours. Now here's where it gets really interesting. As this system lifts northeast off the coast, the European model shows it deepening explosively. We're talking a 980 to 990 millibar low reaching the Carolinas and Virginia by Sunday evening, then continuing to bomb out to a 960 to 970 millibar monster just offshore of the Northeast by Monday or Tuesday. A negatively tilted trough supports this intensification, pulling in dynamics and marginally colder air across the northeast. If this system tracks close enough to the coast, this is a blizzard setup. If it tracks further offshore, it's a miss, similar to what we saw in January. The GFS keeps it suppressed and further south, not even bringing significant precipitation to the northeast. Over the past several model cycles, the snow signal for the I-95 corridor has actually decreased in intensity, which is why I'm saying this is a swing or miss scenario. But the rainfall side has been trending up, and the European has earned more trust than the GFS this winter. We need another 24 to 48 hours before we know which way this breaks. The Western Mountain Storm, February 16, 21, the third and strongest system. The CPC has declared a major pattern change. The west transitions from warm and dry to cold and snowy. High risk of heavy snow for the Sierra Nevada, February 18th. Moderate risk extending through the Cascades, Klamath Mountains, and desert southwest. Blended model guidance shows potential for 170 inches, over 14 feet, across the highest Sierra peaks through the next 10 days. The Cascades and Rockies see plentiful accumulation. The Four Corners, Mogollon Rim, southwestern Utah, Santa Fe, western Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, and Idaho all get significant snow. Lee-side cyclogenesis across eastern Colorado around February 18th brings gusty winds and wildfire danger before snow arrives. Multiple lows track northeast to the upper Midwest, with the CPC flagging the northern plains through the Great Lakes for winter storm risk February 18th through 20th. Flooding is possible from the Bay Area to Southern California as atmospheric river moisture slams the coast. City-by-city predictions. Northeast, New York City, Boston, Philadelphia, D.C., Hartford, Providence, Portland, Buffalo. Snow showers tonight. Heaviest across upstate New York and northern New England with 3 to 6 inches possible through Friday. Boston catches snow tonight, then scattered showers Wednesday. New York City could see freezing drizzle and sleet mixing in. The Valentine's Day system is the huge question mark. If the European verifies, a potentially historic storm, 960 to 970 millibars just offshore, could produce blizzard conditions from the mid-Atlantic through New England by Monday or Tuesday. If it tracks offshore, the Northeast mostly dodges it, and Nova Scotia takes the hit instead. Hartford, Providence, and Portland are right in the crosshairs of the European solution. Philadelphia and D.C. sit on the warm side, mainly rain, but a close tracking system could still deliver wintry precipitation. Buffalo adds to its lake effect totals through clipper activity all week. Southeast, Atlanta, Charlotte, Nashville, Raleigh, Birmingham, Charleston, Jacksonville. Heavy rain is the main story Saturday through Sunday, 1 to 3 inches widespread with severe weather potential from Louisiana through Mississippi, Alabama, and into the Carolinas. Charlotte and Raleigh get soaked. Atlanta catches heavy rain and storms. Nashville and Birmingham mainly see rain. Asheville maintains above 50% ensemble probability for wintry accumulation, but overall wintry confidence remains very low. The severe weather threat is concentrated along the Gulf Coast and Deep South Saturday afternoon. Late February looks active for the mid and lower Mississippi Valley and Southeast. Heavy rainfall and severe weather threats increase as the tight temperature gradient between western cold and eastern warmth generates dynamic storm systems. Midwest and Great Lakes, Chicago, Detroit, Minneapolis, Milwaukee, Cleveland, Indianapolis, Columbus, St. Louis. The warmth is extraordinary. Temperatures 40 degrees above normal through the plains on Valentine's Day weekend extend into the upper Midwest. But Storm 3 brings the reality check. The CPC flags the northern plains through the upper Mississippi Valley and Great Lakes for winter storm risk February 18th through 20th. Minneapolis, Milwaukee, and Green Bay are squarely in the path. Heavy snow on the northwest side of multiple lows tracking from the high plains to the upper Midwest. Michigan runs 50 to 60% above normal for February snowfall. Detroit and Cleveland stay in the lake effect corridor. Chicago and St. Louis stay warm through the weekend, but clipper systems bring chances by midweek. Plains and South Central, Dallas, Houston, Kansas City, Oklahoma City, Omaha, Denver, San Antonio. DFW, 80% rain chance Friday night into Saturday, 1 to 3 inches, Isolated strong storms. Houston, 90%, heavy rain. San Antonio, 50%, lighter amounts. The slight risk for excessive rainfall covers southeast Oklahoma, northeast Texas, and central Arkansas, Little Rock, Fort Smith, and the northern DFW suburbs, including Denton, Sherman, and Paris. Oklahoma gets statewide impact. After the storm, freezes return by the third week of February across Kansas, Oklahoma, Texas, and Arkansas. Denver gets meaningful snow as Storm 3 drives Colorado cyclogenesis around the 18th. West Coast and Mountain West. Los Angeles, San Francisco, Seattle, Portland, Sacramento, Phoenix, Salt Lake City, Boise, Flagstaff, Albuquerque. Storm 1 hits tonight with Sierra snow and coastal California rain. The WPC flagged a marginal risk for excessive rainfall across the transverse ranges over burn-scar terrain. Storm 3 brings the mother load starting next weekend. 14 feet possible at Sierra Peaks, heavy snow for the Cascades, Four Corners, Flagstaff, Utah, western Colorado, Wyoming, Montana, Idaho. Wonderful skiing conditions ahead. Snowpack is below 50% of average across the Pacific Northwest, Great Basin, and California. This sequence starts to fix that in a big way. Salt Lake City, which has recorded just 1/10 of an inch all season, nearly 33 inches below average, finally digs out. Flooding risk runs from the Bay Area to Southern California as atmospheric river moisture slams the coast. Seattle and Portland turn colder and wetter as the pattern flips. Arctic air funneling from Alaska drops temperatures well below normal across the entire western U.S. through late February, with even colder air arriving by the last week of the month from southwest Canada. The long-range pattern through the end of February keeps the east warm and the west cold. Record-breaking highs are possible east of the Rockies during week 3, but that extreme temperature gradient breeds storms, and where cold meets warm, you get snow, ice, and severe weather. This winter is reloading. Thanks for watching.